So, good morning, class. So, today we are going to start the syllabus of our new subject, which is operating system. This is your compulsory and core subject of 6th semester IT. And as this is the very first class, so I have decided to keep this particular class at a very beginners and basic level. Okay. In today's class, basically, we are just going to discuss on three agendas. First, we are going to discuss about the introduction of the subject. That means what exactly do you mean by operating systems? Then we are going to discuss on the syllabus. How many units are there? What are the different concepts that you are going to learn throughout the syllabus? And number three is what are the different textbooks and reference books that you have to refer guided by the university guidelines. Okay. So without wasting much of a time, we are going to start with our first agenda, which is introduction of our subject. So, as you can see on the screen, there is one diagram. This diagram has three components in it. One is hardware, another is operating system, and third is end user. So before going into the discussion of what exactly the definition is, what do you mean by operating system, and so, what we can understand and learn from this particular diagram. It is a very simple diagram to understand from. The operating system is sandwiched between hardware and end user, where end user is us, the user who is going to use the computer system or maybe say mobile phones, any system. The first component or the first block is hardware. This hardware component includes CPU, memory, hard drive, and all the hardware component of your computer or a system. Now, this middle part or the operating system block is basically, it is called as an interface. This operating system or the middle part allows us, the end user, to use the hardware, the CPU, the memory, or the hard drive component of your computer or a system. Okay, it is called as an interface because without an operating system, we will not be able to use our hardware components of our system. Just imagine you have a mobile phone in which there is no operating system installed in it. Obviously, if suppose your mobile phone's hardware is very latest hardware, but still suppose if you don't have an operating system installed in your computer in your mobile phone, you won't be able to use your phone. So it is as good as nothing. Similarly goes with your laptops, your computers, or be it any machine. So operating system, at least one operating system must be installed in your mobile, in your laptop, or any system or a machine that you are going to use. So what exactly do you mean by an operating system? I can say that operating system, which is popularly known as OS, you must have heard of this term many times. So an OS is a software that acts as an interface between the computer hardware and the user. राइट सो जो कंप्यूटर्स और लैपटॉप्स के जो सॉफ्टवेयर जो हार्डवेयर कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं उसको यूज करने के लिए हेल्प करने वाला जो सॉफ्टवेयर कंपोनेंट है दैट इज एन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम एंड एवरी कंप्यूटर सिस्टम मस्ट हैव एटलीस्ट वन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम टू रन. What we are going to run in our computer system, we are going to run several programs. These programs can be several applications such as web browsers, maybe Microsoft Office, maybe Notepad, maybe several other games, right? And all these applications require some environment to run. So this particular environment is being provided by an operating system. If you don't have an operating system, your applications such as browsers, Office, Word, PowerPoint, maybe say VLC player or Notepad, games, anything will not have an environment to run and perform its task. So OS is mandatory. This operating system basically helps you communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. Suppose when I click on say start button, I click on suppose say run and I press CMD and press I enter. So command prompt will get open on my laptop screen. What I have done, I have initialized a program called as command prompt just by click of a mouse. Now I don't know how your computer operates. I don't know how your computer talks what is the particular language. I know that computer runs on binary language and so on, but without knowing the language I am able to communicate with the computer's hardware, and I am able to initialize the program, and I am able to use that particular program very efficiently. So that is being possible with the help of operating system. And it is not possible for the user to use any computer or mobile device having an without an operating system, right? ये तो आप लोगों को पता ही है, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम होना ही चाहिए, अदरवाइज आपका कोई भी सिस्टम कितना भी हाई कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का क्यों ना हो, you will not be able to use it. And you must have heard of there are several different types of operating system. Just to mention, आपने सुना होगा मोबाइल ओएस, ये तो आपको पता ही है that one of the most popular operating system is mobile OS. Then multi-processing OS, real-time OS, distributed OS, network OS, multitasking and multi-processing OS. So there are several different type of operating system. Okay, with the syllabus we are going to see different types of operating system and what are the different functionalities and different concepts provided by the operating system. Okay. So on the screen, the definition says an operating system or OS is a software component. So just now discussed, OS is a software component of a computer system that is responsible for the management and coordination of activities. Now, when I'm talking about the activities, what are the different activities? And we are talking about the activities, their management and their coordination. So in simple language, the activities are the different programs, different processes which we will be initializing to be executed on a laptop. For example, when your computer or laptop gets booted up, there are several system programs which gets initialized by itself. So these are the programs which needs to be initialized at the time of your booting of your computer or laptop. This needs to be initialized at particular time. If they fail to initialize, your operating system will not get booted up. So how so that particular programs, then suppose then your laptop is completely booted up, suppose you want to listen to songs. So what do? You initialize VLC player. So that particular program gets into your random access memory, gets initialized, and then you will be able to use your then you will be able to listen to music. So that particular activity is also being managed by a computer's operating system. Then suppose maybe listening to music, you wanted to write another letter using Microsoft Office or a Word, then you're initializing another program. So all these management and coordination of all these activities are being monitored by operating system. It is responsible for the management and coordination and sharing of the resources. Talking about sharing of resources, one of the most shared part of your computer is your random access memory. ये कॉन्सेप्ट आप लोगों को पता ही होगा. इफ आई हैव टू टेक यू बैक टू एग्जांपल ऑफ मोबाइल फोन्स, व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ मोबाइल फोन का रैम जितना ज्यादा होगा उतना इजीली आप कोई भी एप्लीकेशन रन कर पाएंगे और नंबर ऑफ एप्लीकेशन यू विल बी एबल टू initialize on your compute on your mobile phone. Maybe you will be able to use heavier softwares, heavier programs, heavier games on your mobile phones. So random access memory, or I would say main memory, is limited. For example, laptop में आजकल 4 GB होता है, जिसमें से 2.33 is available to us. Rest of the random access memory is being occupied by operating system already, OS. So with the limited main memory of 2.33, we have to initialize several programs. Suppose I'm turning on my laptop, I want to listen to music, I want to browse, so I'm opening my web browser. Then I am documenting something, so I'm opening Microsoft Word. Then, for example, there is one Zoom meeting that I have to attend to simultaneously, so I am initializing another web browser with Zoom, which automatically takes much more random access memory. So this random access memory is being shared among all these processes, and random access memory is limited. So monitoring the availability of random access memory, or for example shared resources. I am saying random access memory for now is a resource which is shared among several processes. So OS will take care of it, that if there is one resource which is shared between several processes, several activities, so it has to be monitored that no process will be will face any problem while the other process is going to use the same resource विच इज इन शेयर्ड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब आप रैंडम एक्सेस मेमोरी में अगर आपने VLC ओपन किया और उसके बाद आप माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑफिस ओपन कर रहे हो तो आपको कोई फर्क पता नहीं चलता है दैट ओके द सेम रैंडम एक्सेस मेमोरी इज बीइंग शेयर्ड बाय टू डिफरेंट प्रोसेसेस. So to manage all this sharing of resources is also being done by operating system. So this is basically all about OS. OS is the very main component of your system or a laptop, and it has several functionalities. अभी तक शायद आप लोगों को नहीं पता चला होगा that how basically your computer's operating system works. But as soon as we are going to discuss about the various components and concept of OS, now you will begin to think that yes, operating system is very important part of your laptop or a system which performs several functions without your knowledge. Okay, so swiftly we are moving to the next slide, which is the discussion on the syllabus. This is the syllabus provided by the university. We have 6 units to cover to, and the syllabus is very simple. It's very basic, but it has so many topics and subtopics. So we'll discuss the syllabus unit wise, and then we'll see what are the textbooks and reference books to refer from. Talking about the very first unit. Your first unit is all about an overview of an OS. It is a very basic unit in which all you are going to understand is what is exactly operating system are, what they do, how they are designed, how they are constructed, what are the basic terminologies, what are the nomenclatures, how the operating system is structured, the architecture, right, or the components, what are the different services which is being provided by operating system, various type of operating systems, what are the different operating system services being provided, right? So all these concepts, all the basic concepts are being covered in your unit number 1. One of the main emphasis on unit number 1 is to discuss about what are the common feature of an operating system, right? What are the different important functionalities which is being provided by operating system. We have to understand in unit number. It is very basic. It is a theoretical concept unit. ठीक है, बहुत सिंपल सा यूनिट है. जब हम लोग देखेंगे there are several around like 10-12 unit 10-12 topics are there, and which is all about the basics, the nomenclature, the terminologies of operating system. And the very first unit help us to learn what an operating system without getting into the details of internal algorithms. As just now said, this is a very basic overview unit in which we are not delving into the internal algorithms. जैसे हमने अभी बात की that operating system manages the shared resources. So there are different algorithms for that. How operating system is going to manage the shared resources, how operating system is going to make one program into initialization into running, and how operating system is going to stop a particular program from execution, right? So all these processes are being handled, monitored, and being executed with the help of several algorithms. And there are several algorithms which are being covered in your units, but in first unit we are not having any algorithms, any difficult concepts. It's all about very basic terms, basic nomenclature, and what are the common feature, what exactly operating systems are, the different type of operating systems, and the general architecture of operating systems. So first unit is all about the basics. Moving on to the next unit, which is very important unit. This particular unit talks about process management. ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में प्रोसेस मैनेजमेंट एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शनैलिटी है. व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोसेस, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस? प्रोसेस को अगर मैं सिंपल लैंग्वेज में अभी बताऊं आपको, तो एनी प्रोग्राम, राइट, एनी प्रोग्राम व्हिच इज इन एग्जीक्यूशन इज कॉल्ड एज अ प्रोसेस. Okay, so suppose you are initializing a program, then again you are initializing another program, then third program, and so on. You have initialized, suppose say 10 programs. Operating system itself initializes several system programs. So all these programs which are in execution are referred as process. And how to manage all these processes which are in execution, we are executing at the same time, is what operating system performs, and we have to learn about this concept in unit number 2. This unit covers the concept of process and concurrency. So process हमने अभी समझा. Again I am repeating in simple language. कोई भी प्रोग्राम जब एग्जीक्यूशन में होता है उसको प्रोसेस बोला जाता है. Any program which is in execution is a process. और सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बोलना हो, सो फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन वी राइट आवर कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम्स, हम लोग जनरली एक टेक्स्ट फाइल में लिखते हैं और जब हम उसको एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, as soon as it gets executed, it becomes a process and which ultimately performs all the tasks mentioned in the program, right? If I have to take you back to a C program, what C program is basically, it's a textual file. हम लोग उसको नोटपैड में लिखते हैं, we save it as .c. For example, I have written a program in C for addition of two number. Once the program is in execution, the programs become process. And what a program in execution or a process does, in this particular case, वो क्या करेगा, एडिशन ऑफ टू नंबर करेगा, आउटपुट डिस्प्ले करेगा और एग्जीक्यूशन से बाहर आके स्टॉप हो जाएगा. सो दिस इज व्हाट प्रोसेस इज. अ प्रोग्राम इन एग्जीक्यूशन इज अ प्रोसेस. प्रोसेस को और भी बोला जाता है बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ वर्क. जैसे बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इन कंप्यूटर इज बाइनरी बिट्स, ईदर 0 और 1. वैसे ही बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ वर्क टू बी इंप्लीमेंटेड इन द सिस्टम इज प्रोसेस. Then another term which you can see on the screen is concurrency. Concurrency को भी simple examples language में अगर मुझे फिलहाल आपको बताना है, तो जब multiple instruction एक साथ execute होते हैं एक same time पे, right? Maybe there are several processes running at parallel, right? ढेर सारे processes है जो parallel में एक साथ run हो रहे हैं, उसको हम concurrency बोलते हैं. Right? Concurrency is also called as an execution of multiple instruction sequences at the same time. एक प्रोग्राम एक इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं है, there are multiple instruction sequences which are being executed at the same time, right? And they are running in parallel. एक execute हो रहा है तो दूसरा pause है, तीसरा भी pause है, ऐसा नहीं. First process is also running, second is also running, third is also running. So all these processes are to be called running in concurrency. एक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में एक छोटा सा कॉन्सेप्ट होता है और एक कंपोनेंट होता है कॉल्ड एज प्रोसेस मैनेजर. द नेम इटसेल्फ इज सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी. व्हेन आई से प्रोसेस मैनेजर, इट इज अ कंपोनेंट व्हिच मैनेजेस कि कब कौन सा प्रोसेस को एग्जीक्यूशन में डालना है, कब कौन से प्रोसेस को पॉज कराना है, कब कौन से प्रोग्राम को एग्जीक्यूशन से निकालना है. सो दिस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट इज कॉल्ड एज बेसिकली प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग. As you can see, in this particular unit, we are going to talk about various methods for process scheduling and inter-process communication. So, process scheduling is a very simple concept. It is a activity of process manager. जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया, there is a component called process manager. This component actually manages the process scheduling. And what process scheduling is? It handles that removal of running process from the CPU and selection of another process on the basis of particular strategy. कि suppose मुझे next कौन सा program execution में लाना है, उसके लिए भी strategies है, उसके लिए भी algorithms है. आप लोगों ने सुना है या नहीं पता है, but I would like to mention there are several algorithms इस unit में है, which is going to talk about process scheduling. जैसे आपने सुना होगा first come first serve. ये बहुत सारी programs आप लोग जो जब देखते हो तो होता है ना कि limited seats, first come first serve. So what actually this particular concept is, जो पहले आ गया उसको हम लोग पहले जगह दे देंगे in that particular program. So similarly, operating system also has one process scheduling algorithm जिसका नाम ही है first come first serve. इसका मतलब पहले जो process आया execution में, हम उसको execution में डाल देंगे, जो late आएगा उसको हम शायद pause कराएंगे या फिर wait कराएंगे और उसके बाद हम उसको execution में डालेंगे. First come first serve. There are several other process scheduling algorithm, जैसे एक shortest job first भी है. Again the name explains it all. अगर एक प्रोग्राम उसको एग्जीक्यूट होने के लिए 5 सेकंड लग रहे हैं and there is another program which requires 10 seconds for complete execution and both the programs are being executed at the same time, दोनों सेम टाइम पर आए हैं, तो दोनों में से जो shortest job first है, which is a program which requires 5 seconds for execution, that program will get executed first. अगर हम कौन सा शेड्यूलिंग एल्गोरिथम यूज कर रहे हैं, शॉर्टेस्ट जॉब फर्स्ट. ऐसे ही बहुत सारे जैसे शॉर्टेस्ट रिमेनिंग टाइम, प्रायोरिटी शेड्यूलिंग, राउंड रॉबिन शेड्यूलिंग, मल्टी लेवल क्यू शेड्यूलिंग, बहुत सारे. सो बेसिकली दिस पर्टिकुलर यूनिट इज टॉक अबाउट प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग. व्हेन आई एम सेइंग प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग, हम लोग इससे कंप्यूटर का जो सीपीयू होता है उसकी एफिशिएंसी इंप्रूव करवाते हैं. ठीक है। अब सीपीयू की इफिशियंसी इंप्रूव कराने के कॉन्सेप्ट्स आप लोगों को पता ही है। व्हाई डू वी नीड टू इंप्रूव सीपीयूज इफिशियंसी? बिकॉज फॉर एग्जांपल माय सीपीयू इज रिमेनिंग आइडल एंड इट इज डूइंग नथिंग। सो क्या हो रहा है कि सीपीयू का जो पावर है वो आइडल पड़ा हुआ है, इट इज नॉट बीइंग यूज्ड टू इट्स फुलेस्ट कैपेबिलिटीज। तो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम ये काम करता है कि कोई भी रिसोर्सेज वेस्ट ना जाए। सो सीपीयू को मैनेज करना, प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग को मैनेज करना, ये भी ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का ही काम है, विच वी आर गोइंग टू सी इन यूनिट नंबर 2। व्हाट डू मीन बाय प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग, what are the different algorithms for process scheduling, and inter-process communication, another one term on the screen. If I have to talk about inter-process communication, again the term is self-explanatory. When two processes communicate with each other, it can be termed as inter-process communication. Okay. I mean, why do we need two or how two processes are going to communicate with each other? हो सकता है that one process is transferring some data to another process. So it is a communication. One is transferring, another is receiving. Okay. Maybe ऐसा हो सकता है that it may be a concept where a process is letting another process know that some event has occurred or transferring of data of one process to another has been completed. कि मेरा data complete हो गया transfer करके. So now we can move on to the next task. So there are several instances where two process or more than two process needs to communicate with each other. So that particular concept is inter-process communication. ये भी आपके इस यूनिट में हम लोगों को देखना है. Another main concept which we are going to study in unit number 2 is concepts of threads. Now there is a slight difference between thread and a process. अगर थ्रेड को भी मैं बहुत सिंपल लैंग्वेज में अगर बात करूं, सो जो प्रोसेस होता है उसका एक कोई तो भी छोटा सा पार्ट जब एग्जीक्यूट होता है, सो दैट स्मॉल पार्ट, एनी पार्ट ऑफ द प्रोसेस विच इज बीइंग एग्जीक्यूटेड इज अ थ्रेड. ओके, प्रोसेस इज व्हाट? अ कंप्लीट प्रोग्राम इन एग्जीक्यूशन इज अ प्रोसेस. बट उस एग्जीक्यूशन में आए हुए प्रोग्राम को जब हम प्रोसेस बोल रहे हैं, उस प्रोग्राम का एक छोटा सा पार्ट which is again we are going to execute independently, that small part in execution is called as a thread. Okay, so a thread can execute any part of the process including the parts which are being currently executed by another thread. And thread को हम लोग बोल सकते हैं it is a basic unit to which operating system allocates the processor time. मतलब एक छोटा सा पार्ट एक प्रोसेस का जिसको प्रोसेसर टाइम एलोकेट हो सकता है, जो इंडिपेंडेंटली एग्जीक्यूट भी हो सकता है. इसीलिए इन दिस पर्टिकुलर यूनिट वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मल्टी कोर सिस्टम एंड पैरेलल प्रोग्रामिंग, बिकॉज मल्टी प्रोसेस एंड मल्टी थ्रेड्स, दीज आर द टू कॉन्सेप्ट व्हिच वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इन यूनिट नंबर 2. Swiftly moving to unit number 3. Now the main emphasis on unit number 3 is on process synchronization. Now there is a term process. Now we know what does a process mean. Synchronization. Synchronization का मतलब क्या होता है? Coordinate करना. So simply process synchronization can be termed as a task of coordinating the execution of processes. अब मुझे बताओ दो प्रोसेसेस को सिंक्रोनाइज करने की क्यों जरूरत पड़ेगी? Because just now we said that in operating system we can have plenty of shared resources. अब एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूं. फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम वर्किंग इन अ नेटवर्क एंड माय कंप्यूटर इज कनेक्टेड विद अ प्रिंटर, एंड दैट सेम प्रिंटर इज बीइंग शेयर्ड विद अनदर कंप्यूटर इन द सेम नेटवर्क. Suppose I have given a command to print a document. At the same time, the other computer which is in the network given this command to print his document to the same printer. मतलब एक सेम प्रिंटर दो कंप्यूटर्स को कनेक्टेड है, शेयर्ड है, और एट द सेम टाइम दोनों हम लोग उसको कमांड दे सकते हैं फॉर प्रिंटिंग. सो मी गिविंग अ कमांड टू प्रिंट अ पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट इज अ प्रोसेस. द अदर यूजर इज गिविंग द कमांड टू प्रिंट अ डॉक्यूमेंट इज अनदर प्रोसेस. सो हमको ये चेक करना है दैट नो टू प्रोसेस कैन हैव एक्सेस टू द सेम शेयर्ड डेटा और रिसोर्सेज. दो प्रोसेसेस एक ही टाइम पे शेयर्ड डेटा और रिसोर्सेज को यूज नहीं कर सकते. सो अगर ऐसा हो रहा है तो वी हैव टू सिंक्रोनाइज देम, मे बी गिविंग अ प्रायोरिटी टू one user over another. So one will wait. First user will print his document, and once the printing of document of first user is completed, the access is given to the next user. So ये कैसे किया हमने? We have synchronized the processes just because the two processes are accessing same शेयर्ड डेटा और रिसोर्सेस। ठीक है, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ प्रोसेस ए, ओके, एंड देयर इज अ प्रोसेस बी. Process A is using a data which is stored in a memory. For example, a variable A equals to 10. The variable A equals to 10, this value is being used by process A. वो उसको use करना चाह रहा है. But at the same time, process B is updating the value of A from 10 to 20. तो सेम वेरिएबल जो a है जिसकी वैल्यू 10 है, उसको a प्रोसेस को यूज करना है विद द वैल्यू 10, लेकिन सेम टाइम पे प्रोसेस b क्या कर रहा है, उसी वैल्यू को, उसी शेयर्ड मेमोरी को, उसी वेरिएबल को अपडेट कर रहा है 20. सो प्रोसेस b इज एबल टू अपडेट द वैल्यू फ्रॉम 10 to 20, उसका काम तो हो जाएगा. बट व्हेन प्रोसेस a इज गोइंग टू यूज द वैल्यू ऑफ a विच वॉज 10, अभी अब 20 है, तो उसके लिए वो डेटा इनकरेक्ट हो गया. तो ये चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए, इसीलिए हमको प्रोसेस सिंक्रोनाइजेशन के बारे में भी अंडरस्टैंड करना है, विच इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट इन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. So this particular unit covers the concept of methods for process synchronization. So again, जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बोला कि there are several methods जिससे हम different processes को synchronize कर सकते हैं. And this unit is divided into 3 parts. What first is, what do you mean by process synchronization? What are the various synchronization tools and several synchronization examples? In this unit, we are going to learn very important concept of critical section. क्रिटिकल सेक्शन हमारे रैंडम एक्सेस मेमोरी में एक इंपॉर्टेंट शेयर्ड मेमोरी का पार्ट होता है, जिसके कारण ही प्रोसेस सिंक्रोनाइजेशन एग्जीक्यूट किया जाता है. So in this particular unit, we are going to talk about only and only talk about process synchronization, why it is important, what it is, and how we are going to manage different process synchronization in operating system. Unit number 4 is again a very interesting unit in which we are going to talk about deadlocks. डेडलॉक को भी अगर सिंपल हिंदी में मुझे समझाना हो तो बहुत सिंपल सा है कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल कंसिडर 2 ट्रेन्स आर कमिंग टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर. सेम पटरी पे, सेम ट्रैक पे देयर आर 2 ट्रेन्स कमिंग इनटू ईच अदर. दोनों एक दूसरे के तरफ ही आ रही है, एंड देयर इज ओनली वन ट्रैक, एंड बोथ द ट्रेन्स आर कमिंग टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर ऑन द सेम ट्रैक, एंड नन ऑफ द ट्रेन कैन मूव वंस दे आर इन फ्रंट ऑफ ईच अदर. एक बार आमने सामने आ गई तो वो हिल नहीं पा रही है. तो इन दैट केस जो ट्रेन को मे बी से नॉर्थ से साउथ जाना है वो भी रुक गई, जिसको साउथ से नॉर्थ जाना है वो भी रुक गई, और किसी का भी मूवमेंट नहीं हो रहा है. दे आर एक्चुअली, हम बोल सकते हैं, बोथ द ट्रेन्स आर फ्रीज्ड एट अ मूवमेंट एंड दे कैन नॉट फाइंड एनी instant solution to this particular problem. Just consider 2 trains are coming towards each other and they are facing each other on the same track. क्या कर सकते हैं हम? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So this kind of a situation is called deadlock in OS. It is a situation where again the processes are blocked. Process कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हैं, वो block हो जाते हैं. क्यों? Because one process is holding a resource and waiting for another resource which is acquired by some other process. ठीक है, यानी जैसे हम शॉपिंग करने जा रहे हैं फॉर एग्जांपल इन मॉल, एंड सपोज यू लाइक अ टी शर्ट, ओके, एंड यू जस्ट ग्रैब दैट टी शर्ट बट just but that particular moment another man who liked the same t-shirt grabbed the same t-shirt again. So now both of you are grabbing the same t-shirt. He is also not letting you buy that and you are also not letting him buy that particular t-shirt, and both are holding that t-shirt firmly. You are asking him to leave and he is asking you to leave. So इस केस में क्या हो गया, दोनों एक जगह से फ्रीज हो गए, और जो सेम टी शर्ट है, दैट टी शर्ट कैन बी टर्म्ड एज अ रिसोर्स विच इज बीइंग शेयर्ड बाय बोथ. ना वो उसको छोड़ने के लिए रेडी है, ना आप उसको छोड़ने के लिए रेडी है. तो दिस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन वेयर several processes are blocked from execution just because one process is holding a resource and waiting for another resource which is again acquired by another resource. So this is called as a deadlock. और कंप्यूटर्स में बहुत बार होता ही है, बिकॉज वी नेवर नो व्हाट प्रोसेस, व्हाट प्रोग्राम इज गोइंग टू यूज विच शेयर्ड रिसोर्सेज. सो एट अ सेम टाइम हो सकता है सेवरल मोर देन 2 और मोर देन 3 प्रोसेसेस आर गोइंग टू यूज द सेम रिसोर्स, और एक बार में हम इतने सारे प्रोसेसेस को वो सेम रिसोर्स यूज अलाउ करने नहीं दे सकते. सो हो सकता है कि उनका एग्जीक्यूशन होल्ड चला जाए, या फिर वो पॉज स्टेट में चला जाए, या फिर सीधे सीधे ब्लॉक ही हो जाए. So we don't want an operating system to be blocked. We want कि ये सारी चीजें resolve हो. So वो resolve होने के लिए there are several methods for deadlock handling. The term deadlock, we are locked in a situation which is as good as dead. That's why it is called deadlocks. Okay, what this unit particular discusses about deadlock characterization. There are methods for handling deadlocks. Deadlock को हम कैसे prevent कर सकते हैं? How can we avoid the deadlock? How can we detect whether the deadlock can occur or not? और अगर deadlock होता है, so how can we recover from deadlock? Is also being discussed in this particular unit. This is very important unit and very interesting unit. Swiftly moving to the fifth unit, which is all about memory management. So, as I have been mentioning a lot about memory, main memory. So, memory management is one of the functionality of an operating system which basically handles or manages the primary memory or main memory, right? And memory management is a functionality by which an operating system can move the processes back and forth between main memory and disk, जो हमारा हार्ड डिस्क होता है कि कभी उसको मेन मेमोरी में लेके जाए फॉर एग्जीक्यूशन, कभी एग्जीक्यूशन से निकाल के वापस मेरे डिस्क में लेके आए. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है making or moving the processes back and forth between main memory and hard disk is being monitored and being done by memory management. Memory management basically keep tracks of each and every memory location regardless of either it is allocated to some process or it is free, because operating system continuously keep on check how many or how much memory is available. Is there a memory available with us, or the memory is again going to completely occupied by the different processes which are coming into execution. Everything is being monitored by operating system with the help of memory management. So in this particular unit, we are going to talk about what are the different schemes or algorithm for memory management. जैसे virtual memory का concept है, then there is a concept of paging, segmentation, page replacement algorithms, thrashing. All these particular concepts are going to be covered in this particular unit. Okay, and the last unit is all about file system and management. When I'm talking about file system, it is basically I'm talking about जो सेकेंडरी और नॉन वोलेटाइल स्टोरेज जैसे कि मैग्नेटिक डिस्क हो गया, ऑप्टिकल डिस्क हो गया, टेप्स हो गया, उसमें जो पर्टिकुलर कलेक्शन ऑफ फाइल्स मेरे रखी हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन रखी है, उसको मैनेज करना. अभी तक जो हमने बात करी फ्रॉम यूनिट नंबर 1 to 5, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम विद द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ और विद द point of view of main memory management. But unit number 6 is all about file system and management, which is recorded on secondary memory और नॉन वेलेटाइल मेमोरी, जो हम लोग बहुत बार बोलते हैं कि मैग्नेटिक डिस्क हो गया, ऑप्टिकल डिस्क हो गया या मैग्नेटिक टेप्स हो गए. बेसिकली वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इनपुट आउटपुट फंक्शनैलिटीज. सो it discusses the mechanism for online storage of and access of both the data and program which is stored on the secondary devices, and it also talks about real-time operating system. This unit is very small, but it only talks about the memory management, sorry, the file system and management of the data which is being recorded on the secondary or non-volatile devices. Okay, so with this, we have completely covered the discussion on the syllabus. We have seen what are the different units, what are the different concepts we have to understand, and how your syllabus is being designed. कि हमें कहाँ से शुरू करना है, कौन से concept पढ़ने हैं और क्यों पढ़ने हैं, वो थोड़ा हमने discuss कर लिया है. And the last point which we have to discuss today is the textbooks and the reference books to refer to. So the very first textbook which you can see on the screen, which is Operating System and Concept. This Operating System and Concept by Galvin. This is the textbook that you have to refer. ठीक है, ये textbook Google पे available है. The PDF is also available. If you'll visit to my website, मेरी website पे भी आपको ये textbooks download के लिए available मिलेगी. The next is Tannenbaum Modern Operating System. ये भी आपको मेरी website पे available मिल जाएगा PDF to download. But I suggest just stick to this particular website Galvin for now. Okay, and there are several reference books also, which is GNUT Operating System Concepts and an Introduction to Operating System. I suggest again, you should refer the first textbook, which is Galvin Operating System Concept. It is very easy to understand. It covers all the concepts. And if you require any other textbook, I would suggest Tannenbaum, the number 2, Modern Operating System, and both the textbooks are available on the website. Okay, so with this, I am wrapping up my class of today, which is just the basic introduction of our syllabus, of your unit, of your subject. and from tomorrow we are going to start unit number 1. Okay, just stay connected. I'll take the attendance.